this is a vibe, this is a North Asian vibe. Are artists addressing not just the look, but the kinds of things they're trying to address in it?
Actually, what you're trying to get at, I think, is are they flag works or not? Meaning, are they works about national identity, national motifs that are specific to certain cultures? And if they are, then it's kind of, there's a Mao, I mean, we're talking about
So
simplistic iconography that identifies a work as being from a certain culture. In the Indonesian pavilion, I think, and there's a lot of diverse work there, but I think a lot of it is quite, it draws on specific imagery from the various religions and cultures that make up Indonesia, which is a very diverse country, of course.
Capturing aspirations as they are, is it running ahead of aspirations and nationalism? I mean, is art leading or is art following? Is art just in the mainstream in these countries?
Joant from China, and she's on exhibit here, and she actually does a lot with the representation of women. She first came into the art scene with a documentary that she'd done on prostitutes in Beijing, relaxing in the ladies' room and comparing notes with each other. So it was not, it was not just a kind of prettied up version. And now she's doing more. She's done for some years images of schoolgirls, which are less critical, but she's combining them with her interest in Buddhism. So I don't know if it's so much leading the way as it is combining this kind of critical questioning of the cute schoolgirl and then things that she finds more serious, like transcendentalism and Buddhism. So she's a good example of somebody who is both branded as Chinese, but also playing the critical and the idealistic part.
Any questions? Art is dead. Art is dead.
Hi, my name is Alice.
Hi.
My name is Alice.
Yeah.
Can I ask you any questions?
Sure.
Why do you say art is dead?
Art must die in order to be born again. At this stage, it's dead. We need to do something about it, or else it will not live again.
I see. Okay, that is too deep. Okay, I know one artist. He said something really, really interesting.
Yeah.
He said that art is dead, same comment as you made. And he said that people, they actually enjoy the artist,
Death.
the death.
The dead artist.
Yes.
Yeah, because the dead artist works is more expensive, right? The price goes up when we die.
Yeah, and his perspective, what he's trying to say is that, when artists create one piece, it's more like to express himself, to create something. Once the process is done, so the thing will be dead.
Yeah,
it's like a dead body.
Yeah, but it can come alive again if you do something.
Yeah, so
about it,
how are you going to make art alive again?
I do it
that
every
is my
day.
question.
I do it every day. It dies and lives every day.
What is your action?
My action? It depends on the work. Each work is different, Some work is a drawing, some work is a painting, some work is a sculpture, some work is like performance, and some work is a video. But once it's already done, like you said, it's dead. But I'm not talking about this kind of death in my work. I'm talking in terms of the society.
Society.
I think
it's so
very
you are
dangerous.
trying to wake up the collectors,
True.
not the artists.
Yeah,
That's
because
very interesting.
a lot of times people collect for the sake of investment, and they don't even look at the work. They only look at the price. That's when art is dead. They must look at the work. Look at the artist.
Do you think the artists now, what they should do is educating? We all have to educate the
Not everybody
collectors.
does the same thing. I don't expect anybody to do the same thing I do. I think every artist is different. Every artist have different abilities and different tendency and psychology, and everybody is different. And I don't expect everyone to do what I do, but I think it's necessary for me to do this because this is Singapore and I know Singapore.
Are you a Singapore artist?
I'm
Singaporean
from here.
artist? From here. Yeah, may I know your name again?
I'm Lee Wen.
Lee Wen.
Yes.
Of course I know you.
Of course
I
you
saw your
should
work
know me.
before, but I
If you
never met
don't,
you
you don't know
before.
about Singapore. But
Very lovely talking to you.
thank you.
Oh, you wrote down your question?
Yeah.
Wow. And you didn't write down the answer?
It's for you to answer me.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So my question is, how does an artist copes or lives up in this hugely demanding and commercial environment where it's all about money, speed, and profits these days?
I do think that Singapore is a very pragmatically driven, culture, and business in a way leads the way, and whether you like it or not. I mean, I would argue that that's not enough. On the other hand, there's been a lot of initiatives taken by the business community to try and support the arts. Can you line up if you have a question, please? Thank you. And but I do think that if you're able to do this without a feeling that you are compromising your serious practice, right? I've already made a distinction, but maybe biased distinction. But if you can preserve your practice that you're most committed to, and also make a living by doing other work that you think is sellable, then it's a fantastic solution. But I do think that those sorts of compromises are necessary to survive. I think that the state, you can't support yourself through state funding. I mean, that's a once in a while. And so, even artists who are painters or sculptors or working whatever have got to do the same, and just find a way. There are avenues, but I do think that if you're able to develop it, you've got a solution. No, truly. I mean, I'm not just kidding you, and you're looking bemused, but I actually think that it is probably one of the very few ways. Do you have a card?
I don't have it.
Oh, because then I'll go and buy some of your commercial work.
Oh, thank you.
But you don't have a card.
Yeah.
So that's very bad.
Okay.
You should have a card. You know that. I mean, Singapore survives by handing out cards.
Yes.
No, we were just looking at the book that you wrote on violence and modernism. So you want to talk a little bit? Well, I mean, it's such a broad topic. So
yeah, well, just before the First World War, there was these ideas that progress was good, and industrialism was good, and the Titanic was built in 1912, and if you don't actually think about what happened to it, it was the epitome of achievement. Mass production cars, telephones, even flight. And it was all seen as positive.
Right.
And that was all associated with modernism and modernist aesthetics like futurism and cubism and things like that. Then when the First World War happened, all of that technology was turned to destructive purposes. Tanks, airplanes dropping bombs on people, machine guns, killing people. And so for the first time, it was really realized that technology harnessed to the wrong people or the wrong ideologies is extremely damaging.
Yeah.
So the question was, as modernism in London championed all this technology and all these modern ideas, how would it survive the First World War? And the book, it didn't.
Oh.
Well, it did, but futurism didn't.
Yeah.
I'm Lewis. I write about art, but clearly you know more about this than I do. So I'm just curious. This is really international. I mean, for Singapore, for a tiny red dot like us, you've got lots of really global presences here. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, according to you?
I don't think there's a local. I don't think local. So the notion of local literature or local art, I don't think it holds in this place.
Or at least it's problematic.
Yeah, I mean in the traditional sense of what is local something, I don't think, because we're lacking a hinterland and you usually need that.
Concise.